All right. Next up is a guy that, I gotta say, I don't know what to even think of this kid. Watched a lot of tape in him, and I don't know what to think of him fully here. And that's Harold Fannin Jr. at a Bowling Green. When's the last time we talked about a player from Bowling Green in the show, guys? Woo.
Never.
I think so. It might be a first for us, seriously. 6'4", 230 pounds. So definitely on the lighter end, that's for sure. And he is 20 years old, so he's still very young. So he might, still fill out there a little bit there. From Canton, Ohio. If that sounds familiar, yes, that is that Canton, Ohio, the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Be kind of cool if he just have a great career and ends up there. Has there ever been a guy from Canton, Ohio,
I'm going to retire and go home.
Like, how bad would that be? Retirement speech. Oh, well, I guess I'll get an Uber.
Yeah.
Maybe an Uber for the Pro Football Hall of Fame commencement speech here.
And someone drive me home.
But like I said, he's a guy that you look at on paper. And I know the phrase is used a lot, especially when you're scouting players, men amongst boys, or look to be on a different level. But that's exactly what this kid was. So 22, 218 yards and a touchdown, 23, 623 and 6 touchdowns, was first team All-Mac already at that point.
All macaroni.
This time he put the mac and cheese together, okay? 24, 13 games, 117 catches, 1,555 yards, 10 touchdowns. Consensus All-American, MAC Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-MAC, and the MVP of the 68 Ventures Bowl. Ridiculous. 1,555 yards.
That's
from the tight end position. That is absolutely insanity. The kid was absolutely unstoppable. He was hard to get down. He had good run running. He was, good at breaking through tackles. Good blocker for his size as well. Again, he's 230 yards, 230 pounds.
Good to say.
I still think that he needs to put some weight on. That's for sure. I think that's going to be trouble in the NFL at that kind of weight. He needs to put a good 10, 15 pounds on at least, I think. But like I said, for his size, he did not mind putting the fight in at that point to be the guy that tried to block. He just definitely gonna have trouble with some of the bigger guys though, because again, 230 pounds. I think actually DK Metcalf is probably bigger than him.
He is. DK is like 245.
Yeah, DK Metcalf, 6'4", 235. So yeah, he's basically DK Metcalf minus 5 pounds. Just to put in perspective how small he is. Don't get me wrong, DK Metcalf is a massive receiver.
I was going to say he's a massive receiver.
But I'm just throwing that out there that to give you a perspective of his size difference compared to where he should be. Probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's also definitely some lighter receivers out there that's quite small. Like, who's our former tight end that was that's in Jacksonville? I just want to play his name.
Oh, Evan Ingram?
Yeah.
He's not. He's actually in Denver now. They cut him.
They did. I'm saying, but how big is he?
Yeah.
Especially coming out of the draft.
Now,
because he was a lanky kind of guy himself.
He was. Now, here's the biggest thing we got to talk about with Harold Fannin here. So Fannin ran at the combine. He ran a 40-yard dash. Now, 40-yard dash, as I've said it forever, combine is the underwear Olympics. It shouldn't change anything. It should only reinforce things you think. The interviews there matter more than the actual, tests and stuff like that.
Yes.
For all all you guys know what we're talking about as far as the greatest 40-yard times, 4.2, 4.3, that kind of stuff there. Anything like what the tight end you still want him on like 4.5. His 40-yard dash time, guess what it was? 4.71.
Yeah, there's defensive lineman running faster than that.
Yes. So the biggest thing that I keep on asking myself while watching the film on him was how much of his success is him being very good at what he does. And how much of it is he's facing lesser talent. And you have no way of knowing until you put him in front of that better talent. You really don't. And that's the problem you run into is how do you go ahead and judge a player that you never really get to see, playing legit talent? And we talk about this with plenty of other guys. We said it with Colorado even, we've said it. But Colorado played much better, guys than Bowling Green. That's just where they're at.
Yeah, but you also have to take into consideration as well as when you go to the schools and you play the less talent, you have to beat up on that talent to show that you're worth something. And there's only so much beating up you can do in a single game as a tight end. So there's that as well. So you could question one, but also have to think about the other. So until you bring someone into practice or bring them into your facility, look at them, you don't know who you have. When it comes to running the 40-yard dash, there's a lot of things that fall into there. You don't know.
It sounds like he fell in there and got up. He had enough time to fall and get up.
Sounds like it, but who knows? He may have not been putting it all in that day because he just wants to get to the NFL. He might if
that doesn't help. Maybe he wasn't giving a full effort.
Yeah, but if a couple teams that he's looking at that he wants to go to, if he wants to play that, you hope people don't sandbag, but who knows?
I know.
If you're talking about how hard he is to get down, it's kind of and watching college film too, he wasn't the fastest, but it looks like 4.7's really slow for what he was doing.
It's ridiculous, and it's like
that's what I'm saying.
How did that work? Because
but I'm saying you watch the highlights, you watch his film, then watch what he did in the draft, the combine. It's was that the same running?
But so keep in mind, Bowling Green is one of those teams that people play early in the year when they're trying to fluff their schedule and get people all excited and start a positive note. So here's some of the teams they faced: Arkansas State, Miami of Ohio, Ball State, Western Michigan, Central Michigan, Toledo, Kent State, Northern Illinois, Akron, Old Dominion. Not great schools really to play. Fordham University, they played Fordham. They played two legit teams this year: Penn State, Texas A&M. Here's his numbers in those games, because I want to use that as kind of a gauge to a certain degree, because it's the only two times I saw him play legit talent. And here he is. 11 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown against Penn State. By the way, Tyler Warren in that same game, 8 catches, 147 yards. No touchdowns. You can make the case he actually outplayed Tyler Warren in that game. Texas A&M. That's his other one. Now, Texas A&M, let's see here. Individual stats for him. 8 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown. So he's got legit abilities against those two teams. The only two teams that he played that I could sit there and say are legit, teams that I want to watch your film on to see how you do.
Yeah, and he more improved himself as tight end.
He did. And that's where I'm kind of I'm so confused watching him, because I'm how the hell does he play like that with that kind of lack of speed? But there he does. He did it. So I think it's going to take some time to develop. I think the weight's going to be an issue. I do think, though, that he's going to be a day 2 pick, and I think someone's going to have to be just a little bit patient with him. And I think he's going to really have a potential to be a really good player in this league. But he also has the potential to be really much a bust. This is a boom or bust pick in my eyes.
Yeah, it's fair to say.
Yeah. Like I said, the two things he has going for him is those 2 games. That's the 2 things where I go, you know what? Maybe he's going to be good, because that's legit numbers against 2 legit teams. By the way, when he's the only good player.
Yeah.
Just not trying to be mean about it, but Bowling Green's not exactly surrounding him with talent everywhere.
No.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.